Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors, we don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because misery loves company.
Hello, Emily.
Hi, John. Hi, Facebook chat.
Hello, Facebook chat. Another week and another, oh my God, what am I doing here? How is this? Again, just the spiral of things, all the things that are going on in my life. My back went out like 2 days ago again.
No.
Yeah, so basically it's like I have to use those walkers. I can use a walker to get to the steps. Then I crawl down the steps. Then I use a cane to get to my seat. Then I sit in my seat. And that's where I sit until, and I try to strip. But usually around, I guess it stretches out more at by 2 o'clock, I can kind of sort of walk around.
Yeah.
So I don't have a weight this morning because I could not stand on the scale without holding on to something.
Yeah.
So, but I have been logging my food.
I'm just going to assume that you're down. I feel like if you are logging your food religiously, I don't think there's any way that...
You would say that, but...
I would say that, but I mean, unless you're intentionally trying to gain weight, as soon as I log my food, I'm more lazy about it than anything. It's not because, I'm more conscious of what I'm eating. It's more like, I don't want to write this down.
Well, see, you have obviously not looked at my food diary. Because if you looked at my food diary, you would realize that, here it is. Now that I'm ready to go to the weight loss surgery, I've kind of kicked keto to the curb, and I'm really kind of worried about the calorie count. And I'm also staying within the window. Like I'm still doing the intermittent fasting because that doesn't hurt anything.
No, I find it's really easy.
Yeah.
I honestly have gotten to a point where I feel bad coming on the show and talking about my dieting because it's the same thing. It's the same thing every week. I'm not changing things up. Intermittent fasting is working for me. I just need those 8 hours. Yeah.
It's amazing. And then you put a picture in the group where your belt, now you need to cut a piece of your belt off.
I do. The belt, if you've been listening since the beginning, and I know a lot of people when they find the show, they binge listening from the beginning to hear where we've been. And I think the third or fourth episode, I talked about having to buy a belt for my pants and putting the buckle on that belt on the first notch. Now it's on the fifth and it looks bad. I mean, I need the belt to keep my pants up, but it has that bulge. And what's funny is Facebook, I don't know the voodoo that Facebook ads use, but it showed me a belt ad where the belt actually, I think I'm going to get this, goes around the back and snaps over itself, but on the sides so that you don't have the belt buckle at all and you can still unbutton your pants to go to the bathroom. But it comes to the sides, you put it over the side belt loops and then snap it back onto itself. So it's actually just pulling the back in, which is where I need it. If any women know, we have kind of that back cleavage, I guess, where pants have that gap in the back of them. And that's where I need it tightened. So it's interesting that Facebook knows that that's a belt I need.
Yeah, the Facebook, how you talk about something and all of a sudden it's in every ad. It's annoying. It's probably, I love it, to be honest with you. Because
I do too. I kind of like being targeted. It sounds so weird. I like being targeted with ads that are relevant to me instead of ads that I'm like, I don't need this. I hate this.
Yeah, it's like, for me, having a tampon ad. Not your target audience.
No. Yeah. And those ads at the bottom of the spam pages that are like, fix erectile dysfunction. And I'm like, I don't have a problem with that.
Nope.
As far as I know, Mark doesn't have a problem with that. Oh, let's get personal here.
Yeah. You're right. So I'm the same way. So the other day I thought about getting a standing desk, just for the simple fact to be able to stand up for a while. Maybe try 5 minutes, then sit for 10, then try, for an hour, then try the next day 10 minutes or whatever, and just incorporate more standing in my work. And because I saw an ad, I guess I saw it on Facebook, and I clicked on it, and I cannot get away from standing desk ads. I almost feel like saying, all right, I don't want them anymore. Enough. I know what I want if I want to get one. Remember when I'm sorry, remember when we talked about the thing that you put onto your desk that you would pedal like a stationary bike?
Yep.
I don't remember looking for that or something. Maybe I did, but that was another one where forever there were constantly different ones showing up in my feed. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm done. I don't want, it's enough of that.
You can click the arrow on that ad to a drop-down menu that says this isn't relevant, and it will stop showing similar ads after a while when you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try doing that. So for me, I'm not doing the keto diet anymore, but I'm still trying to lay off the processed foods. Not going to lie, now that my back is all screwed up, it's hard to cook. It's hard to make anything for me. Like the other day, I sat down and I Instapotted a bunch of eggs and then made some egg salad. And I have tuna fish, and as long as I can kind of sit there with a can opener and do everything, I can make it. But like standing at the stove and cooking eggs, I can't do. And I got to tell you, right now, I'm tired of egg salad and tuna fish.
Yeah, I'm tired of egg salad and tuna fish, and I haven't had it for a really long time because my mom always made it growing up. That was always in my lunch.
It's easy to make. It's cheap to make.
Cheap.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of been my week. How about you?
I have been going through, I guess it's full moon energy, and I'm going to get woo. Every month around the full moon, I get insomnia. I can't sleep. I have a crazy amount of energy. I have a lot of ideas. And one of the ones last night that I had, and last night was the full moon, by the way, and it was just like, all of a sudden this hit me. I was thinking about the show, and I've been doing this thing with my anxiety lately where if something makes me anxious, I lean into it instead of trying to push it away. Because it's like, wait a minute, what is the worst thing that can happen? So with anxiety, it's like, I'm going to get on stage and I'm going to be so nervous. Why am I nervous? What do I think is the worst thing that could happen if I get on stage? People are going to throw things at me? Nobody throws things at people. I've never actually been to a show where somebody throws things at somebody. I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. I can come up with stuff. I have that.
We vamp now. We know how to vamp.
Yes, I know how to vamp. I know this stuff. And I've talked about this before. People realize that I'm not a size 6. They can look at me no matter what I'm wearing and see that I'm not a size 6 and that I'm not a normal, quote unquote, normal size. And I've been afraid of that. I've been afraid of having people find out that secret about me.
Okay. I understand that. Okay. Trust me, I have the fear of that too. All right. But there's a difference between you and I. All right. And you're going to say the same problem. I don't know if you are, but I'm going to say something to you right now.
Yeah.
That you don't see yourself through others' eyes. You only see yourself through your eyes. And for me, I would try to tell you that is something you need to work through, because to be honest with you, when I see you, I don't see the person that you see. I see Emily Prokop, the sweetest person, the girl that knows a lot about podcasting, the girl that's going to get up there and talk, and someone that I want to listen to. I told you before, I'm a huge fan of your Insta stories. I know that about you because I saw your Insta stories this morning, and you were up. I'm like, it was like midnight when I got off. You were on this thing called Get Vocal last night, and we were watching something. And I couldn't take it anymore. I went to bed, and then I wake up this morning, and you're going through this and making this up, and you're still in your pajamas. And I was like, look at her. She's like a little fire, like a Spitfire this morning.
That's the full moon. I think that in the past 2 days, I've gotten 6 hours of sleep, and I'm just like wired from this. But so that's really interesting that you're giving me those compliments. And for me, what happens when I get a compliment is I add the but. I automatically add the but because I'm afraid the other person is going to add, you're sweet, you know a lot about podcasting, but you're also fat, which makes you a terrible person.
Okay. So, all right. So let's unpack this a little bit, because this is a really great conversation.
Yeah.
Because there are people that would say, you know what, she's fantastic, but if she lost 40 pounds, she'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't make a difference.
But here's the thing. Nobody that I want to be friends with, nobody that I want in my life, nobody that I want to respect or to have the respect of would ever say that to me or about me.
Exactly. 100%.
That was last night for me, is realizing that. I'm like, Why am I so afraid of somebody calling me fat? If they call me fat to my face or use that as something to bring me down, I don't want that person in my life at all. That's the worst kind of person. And if I'm bending over backwards trying to impress that person, I'm wasting so much time.
Yeah.
So much time.
I 100% agree with you. So we talked about it on here. Last year, the podcast movement was in Philadelphia, and I really, really wanted to go. But you saw how hard it was for me to get around, and I wanted to go. I said, I'm going, even if I have to rent a scooter. Well, I went there, and everything was kind of close, and I probably should have rented the scooter, but I didn't want to be seen as the guy that was in the scooter because he couldn't walk around. Of course, I have really bad arthritis in my knees, and I have a issue with my back. But people don't see that. They only see, well, look at the size of him. If he lost 200 pounds, he could walk around. And they might be right. They might be right. And that's why I'm doing the surgery thing, is because basically my weight has me in this cocoon. And the only way that I can get out of here is if I have the surgery. The only way to get my life back is to have the surgery. So it's tough. It is really, really tough.
Well, I'm going to challenge you now.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to challenge you. All right. So say you went to Podcast Movement
Yes.
and you got that scooter.
Mm-hmm.
What is the worst thing that would have happened?
Nothing. It's all in my head. It is all 100% in my head, because everybody would have rallied around me. And then maybe they would have said something behind my back, but I don't hear it anyhow, and I don't care.
The thing is, in the podcasting community, I will say this, I have seen nothing but total and utter respect for people. And the people who don't respect the community or other people, those podcasters, they either don't last or they find their own little niche, their own little corner of the mean internet. And the ones that we hang out with in general are the nicest people in the entire world who would never say that and would never hold something like that against you or anybody.
Yeah, but here it is. So you told my biggest fear, and I guess I did. It's not that I lied. I just didn't really think of it, or it just popped into my head. So my fear would be that my friends would be like, oh, yeah. But when I left, they would like, see what he's doing? See, he can't even walk. I mean, that's the fear, is that my friends are saying something to my face and something behind my back. That is my biggest fear.
I've never had that happen. Even talking behind somebody's back, it's like we're not fifth graders anymore. That happened in fifth grade. I don't know any adult now who does that. Do you do that?
Talk about people behind their back? Yes.
In that way where you're friendly to their face and then they walk away.
No.
And then you're like, see? I don't think that actually happens with nice, decent people.
But there are, and you know this too, because we've done this together. We took like someone we know, we have something going on, and we'll be like, very uplifting and comforting to that person. And then afterwards we're like, he got to do something else. I mean, this is getting crazy. He needs to, or she needs to, do something to figure this out. But we're not in that person's inner circle enough to give that kind of advice.
Right. And wouldn't you rather want friends in your inner circle who would reach out to you if something were really, truly, terribly wrong and they saw it?
Yes.
And I would feel more comfortable having those people. And I feel like those are the people that we attract, are the real, true friends who would sit down with you and say, listen, I've been seeing this. I'm worried about this. We don't attract people who sit us down and go, all right, let's throw the cards on the table. You're fat and you're not going to be successful until you lose that weight. We don't have people like that in our lives. And if we did, they'd be terrible friends. And our actual friends would tell us, you got to ditch that person.
Yeah, I get it. Now, okay,
Yeah.
So now I have this thing here, and I don't even know how I'm going to get this to you. I'm going to put this in a private chat, and if you want to,
Okay.
you can share it with everybody else. And on my other podcast, the Unbelievably Stupid podcast, Tara came up with this thing. And basically what it is, it's a test based on Fear Survey Schedule 3. We'll attempt to determine how fearful you are. The test incorporates multiple fear factors to break down the results. The test consists of 52 items. An item may be, scenario, an object. You must mark down how fearful or anxious the item is in question would make you. And all items must be marked. The results are broken down into 5 fear factors: social anxiety, agoraphobia, fear of bodily injury, death, illness, fear of sexual aggressive scenes, fear of harmless animals. So you could take this test. I did take the test, And I think I did forget what it is. I didn't mark it down because I was going to take it on the podcast that we do. But it would be interesting to take this test and see where your fear is. My greatest fear is social anxiety. That's where my greatest fear is. But it wasn't even really that bad. For me, podcasting and everything I do in podcasting and the failures that I've publicly done in podcasting has made me realize that, guess what? It's not going to kill you. Listen, I've been embarrassed. I've been so embarrassed by doing stuff live in Facebook Lives. But at the end of the day, I chalk it up to be like, okay, well, I made a mistake. It didn't kill me. It's, it's funny. And I actually make fun of myself. And I can now, through what I'm doing here, I can get up now in a crowd full of people, pick up a microphone and talk to a crowd. I couldn't do that before. Even the way I am now, even the size I am now, I could pick up a microphone, get up there and introduce somebody or talk about something that I had, if I was going to talk about audio editing or audio quality or something like that, I could get up there and talk off the cuff. Even this about weight loss or what we're doing here, I could get up and talk to a crowd full of people. It would not bother me. Now, I'm not going to say that I could do it like I was doing stand-up, and just walk around. I would focus on one thing, or I would look at different spots like I'm looking around. I would pretend like I was comfortable, faking it until you make it.
Yeah.
So there would be some anxiety, but I could do it.
Yeah, when I did the gratitude ceremony at PodFest, and this is at the end, and it's impromptu, people get in a line, and you talk about who you're thankful for, why you're thankful for PodFest in general. And I got up there, and it was probably the biggest number of people I've ever spoken in front of, and I took off my glasses so that I couldn't see, so that they were just kind of people in a crowd. I had my glasses on my head.
No focus. That's pretty cool.
No focus. It worked. I didn't even realize this, but I used to do that in high school in plays. My vision wasn't as bad, so I could walk around without my glasses. But for the most part, I needed them. But in plays, it was like, no, I love doing this. I love being on stage. I love performing and I love talking and I love this. And what do I think is the worst thing that's going to happen? And in my head, it was always the earth is going to open up and swallow me whole. As soon as I wrote that down, as soon as I said that out loud, I realized just how ridiculous that was. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or the other thing was when I would get up in front of class, I would think that I would forget I would have the fear of forgetting what I was going to talk about.
And then what would happen then? What would happen if you forgot what you were going to talk about? Wouldn't you have a general sense of it that you could catch your footing eventually?
Back then, I don't know about that because I think the fear would just well up and I would think I would lock up. I did, but what I would do when I had to go and do a presentation, especially in college, there was a lot of times you had to get up and present a paper or something in college.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would get up there and I would practice and practice and practice where I could just do it in my sleep. And so then I would just get up there and kind of it was almost like doing a routine, like practicing a routine so that you could get up there. And I do remember one time it was an English paper that I had to do and we were talking about childhood memories or something. And I remember like this childhood memory and I didn't expect a laugh break. Like I said something and the whole class just erupted in laughter and it threw me. And I was like, hey, shut up. I'm going to forget.
But didn't you also get sort of a thrill of just like, oh, wait, I made these people laugh.
Yeah. But I was so...
That's what you do. Like when you make people laugh, that's sort of your little high right there.
Yes, it is. Absolutely it is. And there's nothing better than waiting for somebody to stop and then saying something that they weren't expecting and having them bust out in laughter. But when you're sitting up there and you're in your mind, you have this thing where you're rolling and all of a sudden they break into laughter and everybody's laughing. And you're like trying to get back into your story. And now I'm starting to panic and I'm going to forget. And I was like, hey, enough, calm down. It's not that funny. And then I just started talking again and they were still laughing because I was afraid I couldn't enjoy my laughter break. I couldn't sit there and enjoy it. But now I would sit there and enjoy it.
Because you've done it before. And I think that's the thing with us is, or at least for me, it's like I've been punishing my body for almost 36 years for not being what I thought was normal and holding myself back from these things because I was afraid that somebody else would realize that my body isn't a size 6 or that it's not looking like other people on Instagram who, by the way, there are like maybe 1% of people on Instagram actually look normal, quote unquote. Everybody else is showing off how cool they are. There's one account I follow. Her name is Glitter and Lasers. She's, I think, a size 24, 26. She is so into fashion and she is so happy with her body. And it is legitimately hashtag body positivity. And I love watching her try on clothes and get into clothes and love this stuff. And she has haters and she doesn't care. She just doesn't care. Nothing is holding her back from this. And she's so fantastic. And it's like, wait a minute, I want that. And then I'm looking at what my body is doing and how much I've been, gosh, why can't you just lose weight? Why are we only down this much this week? We should be down this much. Oh my God, when you look at what your body has done, like my body specifically has birthed 2 kids. It survived Action Park, New Jersey, which if anybody knows is like the deadliest amusement park.
Yeah, I think they closed it because of all the...
They did. They closed it, but I survived that as a kid. Meanwhile, I'm yelling at my body because you can't fit into a size 6, even though they perfectly make clothes in your size. You know, and I'm tired of that. It's like, whew, I'm all empowered today. Thanks, full moon. Thank you.
Well, here's the thing. I think that once you empower yourself like this, that it actually does help your weight loss, because today you said, okay, I'll be there as soon as I get done yoga. And I'm like, yoga? I just crawled into my chair. So it's like, but the fact of the matter is you're doing yoga now. I think the yoga has really helped your weight loss, to be quite honest with you. It really has moved it along.
It has, but I don't think it's helped as far as physically, but it has gotten me in touch with all those muscles. Because when I do yoga, I feel every single muscle in my body, even the ones that I've forgotten about. I'm like, why does this hurt? Oh yeah, I have a muscle there that I haven't acknowledged until right now. And I was thinking about it. The reason why I love yoga so much is it doesn't feel like a punishment like any other kind of exercise. Any other kind of exercise in my mind was always, this is punishment for you overeating. With me, yoga is just, hey, let's wake up, let's stretch our muscles, and let's feel really good for the day. And I think finding an exercise like that, finding something like people taking walks, they're doing it for nature. They're not doing it necessarily because they're punishing themselves. They wouldn't take walks continually if they didn't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I see people in California all the time. They're like, oh, we're hiking up this mountain.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't it have a road? Because I have no desire to hike up a mountain. Unless there's a bear chasing me, I'm not going up a mountain. But they do. They love, then they get at the top and they take a picture. Oh, look how nice it looks up here. And I'm like, good, now I don't have to do it. I get to see your view. So, I'm just saying, it's just one of those things where, and for me, I just want to be able to get back to where I can go out and walk and be able to, go out and enjoy life.
You want to move.
Yeah, I do.
You want to stick around. You have reasons to stick around in this world.
Yeah, I mean, I just realized, I kind of reflected back to 2006 or 2005 when I was an elevator mechanic. And I would go into a building and the building would be 30 stories high and both elevators would be out. And I'm like, oh, up I go. And I would take up 30 flights of steps to get to the machine room. And I'd get up there and they would need a part and I didn't have it. And I was like, ah. And I would try to get one of them running and I couldn't. So I'd back down the steps and I'd go find the part and I'd come back in and everybody's yelling at me. And I'm like, you're yelling at me? I got to walk up 30 flights of steps and then up 30 flights of steps. And I would get the elevator running. And that would be a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
And if I had to do that now, I couldn't. It was physically impossible for me to do right now. So I just want to be able to get back to that. I never even thought about there's 30 flights of steps that I have to go up. You just went up and did it. Did it. Yeah, with a 25-pound tool bike on my back.
That would be a good slogan, is just do it. I think that's good. I think nobody's ever done that before.
Nobody. That's true. All right. What do you think? Is it time for...
Waiting Wednesday. Waiting Wednesday. Waiting Wednesday. Waiting Wednesday. Waiting Wednesday.
All right. So let's see. I'm going first.
Okay.
Ingrid said, I nailed almost 40,000 steps, my most amount of steps in a long time.
Yay.
Where is it? There it is.
Doo-doo. Victoria, I walked over to the gym. My legs don't seem to be so wobbly. That's great.
Emily says, remember that belt I bought the first few episodes of the podcast, well, I think I need to shorten it.
Yeah, put a picture in the mirror. That's me. And you guys, oh my gosh, the support that you get in this group. I'm so happy for Sarah and Stephanie who commented. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Julie said, I'm in first place in my company's Biggest Loser challenge with 2 weeks to go. Yay! Did you ever do one of those, John? Did you ever do a Biggest Loser?
Yes, I
challenge?
have. And
Well, oh yeah.
no, I mean, I have in, I forget where it was. It was in the one job that I had. And
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was back in, let's see, 2010 or something like that. And everybody was saying, well, it's not fair. He has so much weight to lose. Because I think I lost like 35 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
did they do it by pounds or did they do it by percentage?
Percentage, but I crushed it. Yeah, I was crushing it because the first week I lost like 20-something pounds in just water weight, I think, or whatever. And they're getting on, I lost 2 pounds. I got on, it was like 22 pounds. They're like, gee, this is ridiculous. We're going to lose. I psyched them out. Most of them quit by the third week because they were like, I'm never going to be able to catch him. So, yeah. So I did it, but congratulations.
Yeah, that's great. Angel said she tried hard not to bash someone in the head with a fire extinguisher at work. Yes, I'll take that. I'll take that as a win.
That is a win. Julianne said, I walked over 6,000 steps a day this week and almost got to 10,000 one day and walking without crutches.
Woohoo!
Now, Julianne, she had the knee replacement. So that is really,
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. Now I have, and I would walk 10,000 miles.
Right.
Now I have stuck in my head. Brendan said, well, there hasn't been much movement on the scale. My body composition is continuing to change. My waist is down another inch over the last month.
See, yeah, because what happens, I'm sure he's lifting and you're
He
losing
is. I
weight.
watch him on Instagram. Guys, if you're following, I'll put the link to Brendan's Instagram because he is inspiring to watch on there.
I'm definitely going to have to follow him there.
Yeah.
Laura says, today was my first 10,000 step day. I was 600 steps away, so I paced around the house until I hit it. There you go.
I have been there. I have been next to me in my husband's bed running in place when I used to do the step counting thing. And he'd be like, come to bed. I'm like, no, I just need a few more.
I need another 100.
Yeah.
Come on. So, yep, they are our winning Wednesdays. All right.
Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. You really, really are doing a great job.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
Well, it is episode 46, which is an even week, and that's me. And as you heard earlier, I tried to get on the scale, but as soon as I tried to let go of everything, I was shaking so much. So I'm either up 12 pounds or down 15. I'm not really sure. So I'd have to say I can't really give you a weight today. I apologize. Maybe next week it'll be better. One thing I will say, because Sam says, you should go to the doctor. And one of the things is when you're as large as I am, you go to the doctor, first thing they say is you got to lose weight. Yeah, okay, that's great, doc. Okay, so if you can cut this off, let us go do it. But right now I can't. So you're going to have to do something to help me out, a back brace or something like that. But this is more, I think, of a pinched nerve because every once in a while I get a clunk in my back. And if I get that clunk, then I know in a day or two that I'm going to have problems. So I'm not 100% sure. But if I get down, with this weight, then maybe I can actually fit in an MRI and we can see what's going on. And then maybe I can get my back fixed. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I am down 2 pounds this week.
You're crushing it. You are an animal. You are absolutely crushing it.
And one thing I was thinking, this was another crazy full moon moment for me. I was thinking, why am I sometimes afraid to talk about losing weight on the show?
I don't know why. That's what we're here for. That's what this show is for.
I'm afraid that people are going to leave the show or tell me you shouldn't be doing this because you're supposed to be struggling with this.
What?
How ridiculous is that? That's so ridiculous. That's the anxiety. That's why I had to start leaning into it. Be like, what's the worst that can happen when I talk about losing weight? I'm going to get support. I may help people. I may show people that it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
So I will happily take that. Toot-toot.
Oh, where is it? I missed it. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you did it. You did it.
Oh, did I? Okay. See, you see how bad my memory is? I couldn't even remember that I doot-dooted. I doot-dooted. Who doot-doots?
You do.
So, all right. So here we are, another week down. Basically, like I said, just waiting for the 8th, and then I'll go see what they say.
What are you waiting for the 8th for? So is that the food diary?
Yeah, well, I have to go back with my food diaries. The other thing I did was I went and I bought $58 worth of protein shakes. So one of the things that I'm doing is, so I actually only eat one meal. And then one is a protein shake. Well, it's actually 2 protein shakes. And we'll see what happens. I feel better. It's crazy. But I understand that whole thing about not getting any sleep, because when your back's out and you just move, it hurts. So it wakes you up. So I have not been sleeping in the past probably 4 days. I haven't really had a good night's sleep. I pass out. The best place that I can sleep is in my truck. When I take a truck nap, I can lean the truck back. It's perfect. It doesn't hurt. And I can actually sleep. But I look like a moron out there snoring in a truck. And you got to do what you got to do.
But it's your driveway, right?
Well, sometimes I go down to the park. Let's go down to the park and I pop on a podcast and I just sit there and listen and I fall asleep. The other day I went down there. I slept for 2.5 hours in the front seat of my truck. Wait for the police to come. Sir, you can't sleep here. We'll see what happens.
That happened to me once, but it was more a police officer making sure I was okay. But I had driven up to the college that I was working at to get my paycheck, and they weren't open yet, and I ended up falling asleep in the car. And it was like, okay, worst case scenario, cop comes up and is like, are you okay? It's not like they're going to bring me to jail for sleeping in my own car in a parking lot.
The same park that I talk about, it's down right on the Delaware River. And I pulled up one night, and the Phillies were playing a late game. They were playing on the West Coast. So I live on the East Coast. So I'm sitting there, I'm listening to the game, and I had the windows cracked, and there was a nice breeze blowing in. It was in the springtime. It was beautiful. I went out like a light. So all of a sudden I hear, I wake up, I look over, and it's a cop with a flashlight on me, and I look over, and I put my windows down, and I go, did the Phillies win? And he goes,
you know, he would understand. He would have to understand.
Well,
that, right?
he said to me, sir, have you been drinking? I said, just iced tea. And he's like, it's 3:00 in the morning. I said, I was listening to the Phillies game down here. I fell sound asleep. I said, I'm sorry. And then I gave him my driver's license. I said, I live right up the street. It's no big deal. I'll just head on home. But I think the place closes down at midnight. And I was there at 3:00 in the morning. So I guess he thought, he probably took one look at me and said, this one might have had a heart attack. But no, actually, it was just me falling asleep. Radio's still on, 3:00 in the morning. But yeah, it happens. So truck napping. Try it.
Nap.
All right. If you would like to join us, and we would love to have you, just go to facebook.com/hate to wait. No, that's not what we do. It's hatetowait.com/Facebook. Either way would work, wouldn't
I think it does work either way.
Yeah.
But I think you'd need a /groups somewhere in there, like facebook.com/groups/hate to wait. But really, if you go to hatetowait.com/Facebook, that'll take you right there.
Take you right there. Yes, because I'm just looking at it right now, and it's like hate to wait. It's facebook.com/group/413-0994724711015. Yeah, let's just go to hatetowait.com.
I know podcasters listen to this, so if you're a podcaster and you're saying a really long URL on the podcast, stop that. Make it short.
Make it
nice
short.
and short for people.
hatetowait.com/Facebook and join us.
There you go.
We'd love to have you. Have a lot of fun in the group. And Emily, congratulations, and get that shorter belt. Now, are you going to shorten that belt, or are you just going to get another belt?
I think I'm going to get another belt because I kind of want that belt as like to hold it up as my prize.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a great idea. So congratulations on that. And I love the full moon energy, Emily. I think it's amazing. And I wish I could get some of that full moon energy myself. And
Well, you could stay up all night and then try to work on 3 hours of sleep.
yeah, I've done that before, and I don't like it. So,
No, it's not.
all right, everybody, we'll be back here next week.
Bye.
Is it me? Is my
No, I had to burp.
All right, just a side note, a little tangent. I went back last week and I pulled the video of Facebook when Emily was hiccuping, and it was. I should have waited till you saw. You see, what happens. You take a drink.
All right.
She took a big mouthful of water. That was some of the funniest. When someone hiccups, I mean, you had me laughing hysterically. So I have the video. I should post that in here.
I started hiccuping yesterday and I wanted to call you just so that you could listen to me hiccup.
I don't know. It was just so funny because it's so loud. You're like, I might hiccup. It was hysterical.
My hiccups are loud.